Oh, Tashitele, hello everyone. Yeah, I hope everyone doing fine, and welcome back to the Lojong class. So as usual, we start with setting altruistic motivation on the basis of stable refuge in Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha, in order to make this very session to be most beneficial for numberless sentient beings. Temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness, enlightenment. Okay. Zangye Jodan Zoye Jonala Janju Badu Dani Jazunje Daye Jinzoje Zonamje Dola Penje Sanje Dubarai Sangye Jodan Zoye Jonamala Janju Badu Dani Jazunje Daye Jinzoje Zonamje Dola Penje Sanje Dubarai Sangye Jodan Zoye Jonala Janju Badu Dani Jazunje Daye Jinzoje Zonamje Dola Penje Sanje Dubarai Gange dozene zone dawadam je bambejire dambejene denze be godam de la jaze lo do nyen nyen je song do ju be lam je 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 ganje den de be chana be mo denze nya zo la so wa de zo da ju jin je semje damje de wa dang de be ju dang dem ra ju je semje damje donga da donga je ju dang da wa ju je semje damje donga me be de wa da mi da wa ju je semje damje nyere cha da ni da da we ta nyo la ne bra ju ro je Semje damje dewa da dewe judan dembara juje semje damje dunga da dunga je judan dawa juje semje damje dunga me ben dewa da mi dawa juje semje damje nyere cha dangye dan dawe danyo na nebara juje semje damje dewa da dewe judan dembara juje semje damje dunga da dunga je judan dawa juje semje damje dunga me ben dewa da mi dawa juje semje damje nyere cha dangye dan da danyo la nebara juro ji Okay, so we are still studying Will of Sharp Weapon by Dhammarashita. And those of you who are using the same volume of text, then we are on page 149. And we have covered up to the verse 100 accordingly with this text. And today we're going to start from verse 101. So up to verse 100, we very much focus on the Lojong practice, or the mind transformation practice, or in other words, purifications of our karma and development of our heart in altruism based on the conventional antidote, conventional bodhichitta, which is the kind of conventional bodhichitta, the antidote, the Dharma, specifically to eliminate the direct negation, the self-cherishing attitude through there, and to bring about elimination of the main root cause, the self-grasping ignorant. From today onward, is very much focused on the verse 101 onward, very much focused on the applications of ultimate bodhicitta, the emptiness, in order to eradicate the direct negation, which is a self-grasping attitude, which is the root cause of all the rest of the delusion, including self-cherishing attitude, through the applications of the wisdom of emptiness, and actualize the the two meritorious accumulations, in particularly based on the accumulations of merit of wisdom through cultivation of emptiness. So the verse 101, it says like this: At this time, too, may all the beings of the higher realms meditate throughoutly on no self just like me, and without conceptually opposing existence to pacification. May they meditate on their perfect equanimity. May they recognize their self-identity as perfect equanimity. So at this time too, very much comparing to the earlier verse, in particularly the immediate earlier verse 100, which very much focus on the practice of cultivation of Tonglen, the altruistic conventional method, the altruistic practice of bodhichitta through the technique of Tonglen, or taking and giving, purifying the beings of the three lower realms, such as animal, hungry ghosts, and hell realms, and bring about, abiding them in the state of freedom from silent existent, including its causes, the karma and delusion. So now here, focus, verse 101 very much focus on the rest of the realm of silent existence, which is the higher three realms of silent existence: the human realm, the God realm, demigod realm. May all the beings of the higher realm is referring to the human, God, and demigod realms, all the samsaric beings. So how you're going to benefit them? How you're going to benefit them through the cultivation of Lojong practice by yourself is through the dedication. Yourself first learn about the definition of emptiness. Then you contemplate onto it. Then you applicate through meditation and actualize the realization of no self. No self of self-identity, and no self of the basis of the self-identity, such as aggregates and rest of the phenomena. Through that, you accumulate immense of merit of wisdom, and that merit of wisdom now you dedicate. Not only to the three lower realms, as what you have cultivated practice earlier. Now you also dedicate. Dedicate your practice to liberate even of those beings in the higher realms. How? As like yourself, how you liberate yourself from silent existence, how you liberate yourself, eliminating the causes of this silent existence, which is the self-grasping ignorant, by cultivation of the practice of no self, emptiness. So similar way, you now express that may the entire living beings of the three higher realms too throughoutly meditate on no self, just like me. And may they, purify the silent existence and it is the root cause, the self-grasping attitude, and abide in the state of peerless happiness of enlightenment. So this is how, what is the meaning of this line, and this is the practice that how you bring benefit to the sentient being. And without conception, how? So now the third line, and without conceptually opposing existence to the pacification. So how to meditate? What do you mean by meditation on no self? First of all, how do you meditate on no self? the way to meditate on no self is meditating, meditating on the absolute reality, which understanding without the conceptually opposing existing to the specification. So this is how you meditate, and you make the dedication similar way, wishing all the three higher realm beings to meditate just like that and liberate themselves. You see, so the line says without conceptually opposing. Of course, conceptually, we have this dualistic appearances, misconceptions, grasping of inherent existence, grasping of true existence, grasping of independent existence. You see, all the negations, all the faults, actualize in our concept through conceptual mind. So now here, in order to really to penetrate through the actual understanding of the no self, that you have to do that without the conceptually opposing existing to the existing and specification. So opposing to existing is the existing and specification is nihilism and inner nihilism. You see, so opposing to the two extreme. You see, with the meditative mind, that you actualize the middle way by opposing the two extreme, by eliminating the two extreme, the extreme of existing and extremes of nothingness. You see, then that able to actualize emptiness, that which in nature that exists but do not exist. You see, so so when we talk about opposing the existent, in the false view, when you establish existing, whether it's conventional or ultimate way, when you actualize existing, it has to be exists either inherently, either in true existing, either substantial existing, or either permanent existing, either independent existent. You see, without one of the way of existing that way cannot establish existing, and that is the extreme. You see, so when you establish the emptiness view or middle way, you establish existing without inherent existing, existing without true existing, existing without substantial existing, existing without independent and permanent existing, existing on the basis of merely dependent, merely interdependent way. You see, exists, exists either dependent on cause and effect, exists either dependent on part and particles, exists either dependent on merely labelable mind. In particularly here, this teaching is based on the Pasangika Madhyamika view. So here, the existence has to be established. Existence has to be established based on merely imputed, it exists merely dependent on the imputations of the mind. Okay, so that is how you establish existent. Then you have to establish the pacification. Non-existent doesn't mean non-existent doesn't mean nothing existent. Non-existent doesn't mean nothing existent. Non-existent doesn't emptiness doesn't mean nothing existent. Emptiness doesn't mean do not exist. Emptiness in fact meaning exist. You see, so therefore the middle way have to establish not only opposing the extreme existing, but also need to establish opposing extreme pacification. So therefore, I or things and phenomena do exist, do not exist inherently, but exist interdependently. Do not exist inherently, but exist legitimately independent on the merely labeled by mind, merely labeled by mind, you say merely labeled by, merely labeled by mind, So, of course, in the different philosophical schools, the interdependent existence rationalized as exists dependent on cause and effect, dependent on the cause, dependent on part and particle. But here in the Pasangika Madhyamika, the higher view, in Lama Tsongkhapa's view, like Nagarjuna's view, Buddha's intended view, that is referring to the specifications of inherent existence and establishing interdependent existence. You see, so therefore, in the Madhyamika view, lack of inherent existence or empty of inherent existence does not mean nothing exists. Empty of true existence doesn't mean nothing exists. Empty of substantial existence doesn't mean nothing exists. Empty of inherent existence, in fact, is a solution to actualize legitimate, valid existence. And those valid existence are existent, independent on the merely labeled by mind. You see, so that way, without conceptually opposing existing to the specification, and you actualize the middle way. You actualize the correct existent. So so how you meditate on emptiness, on no self. So I exist interdependently. I do not. In order I to exist, I do not have to exist inherently. Even I inherently do not exist, but I exist because I exist merely. I exist interdependent on the labeling of the mind. So this is how you establish no self. So you meditate on that, and that directly antidote to the root cause of samsara, which is self-grasping, self-grasping ignorant, and that way, you gain liberation from samsara. So similar way, you dedicate, such a profound prayer to the three higher realms. Use their intelligence, like such as a human intelligence and the fortunate of God and demigods. Their physical existence is not unfortunate as the physical existence of the three lower realms. So therefore, you make this specific, prayer dedication to help the three higher realms, to request them to, meditate on self and liberate themselves, like that. So may they meditate on their perfect equanimity. So perfect equanimity here, equanimity is referring to the middle way. The equanimity by eliminating or opposing the true existing and specifications of the what do you call it? You establish the equanimity by overcoming the two extreme, the nihilism and nihilism. So may they recognize their self-identity as perfect equanimity. So you make the prayer that all the three higher realms, all the humans, actualize, recognize, their self-identity, which legitimately existing, which exists in the equanimity, which exists in the actual fact, which carry the characteristic of opposing or the overcoming the two extremes, nihilism and nihilism. So it's talking about that. Then verse 102, if I do this, the enemy will be vanquished. If I do this, false conception will vanquish. I will meditate on the non-conceptual wisdom of no self. So why would I not attain the cause and effect of Buddha's form body? You see, so this is giving the factual reasoning. If you understand emptiness correctly, then if you start to meditate on that and you actualize the realization on emptiness, then correctly, then the enemy, which is the self-grasping ignorant and self-cherishing ignorant, will definitely vanquish, definitely can able to overcome. If I continue to meditate on no self, if I continue to get benefit, actualize the benefit from the practice of emptiness, then the false conceptions of self-grasping ignorant will be definitely vanquished. So therefore, I will meditate on the non-conceptual wisdom of no self. So therefore, given all this reason, then I will definitely meditate on the non-conceptual wisdom of no self. So why would I not attain? So if I do that diligently, in other words, if I meditate on emptiness diligently, then why would I not attain the full enlightenment? Because I create the correct cause for enlightenment. The correct cause of the Buddha's body is the accumulations of the merit of method and merit of wisdom. You see, so by accumulating the merit of wisdom, will able to achieve all the benefit, all the enlightened benefit to the rest of the numberless sentient beings, such as the enlightened bodies, Buddha's form body, the Sambhavakaya and Nirmanakaya body. So Sambhavakaya and Nirmanakaya body is also a result or the effect of actualizing Buddha's wisdom body. Even though the direct cause of the Buddha's form body is not the wisdom, not the merit of wisdom, but merit of wisdom is the one that which make possible to actualize the Buddha's form body. The direct cause of Buddha's form body is the bodhichitta. But even having bodhichitta, but not cultivating the emptiness, then one will not able to achieve Buddha's wisdom body. If one unable to achieve Buddha's wisdom body, then is no way one can achieve Buddha's form body. You see, so therefore, even the achievement of Buddha's form body is dependent on the achievement of Buddha's wisdom body. You see, so therefore, as long as therefore, since cultivation of emptiness is the creation of correct and complete cause for wisdom bodies of the Buddha, then we have no doubt, we don't have to doubt that this will not cause oneself to achieve the Buddha's form body, such as Sambhavakaya and Nirmanakaya body, you see. So therefore, if someone that who really wish to achieve Buddhahood, then must, from this teaching, emphasize the importance of must meditate on emptiness. Without meditating on emptiness, and how greatly we meditate on bodhicitta, we cannot achieve, full enlightenment. Even though bodhicitta is the main cause for enlightenment, but without achieving without completing the merit of wisdom through cultivation of emptiness, Buddhahood cannot be achieved. You see, so it's showing the importantness or the must, learn, must practice, and must actualize the wisdom of the merit of wisdom. Then once, as long as you accumulate the merit of wisdom, then we don't have to doubt, will I be Buddha or not? We don't have to doubt. As long as you meditate on emptiness, then we don't have to caution whether I will become Buddha or not. You will definitely become Buddha because you create the cause. Once you create the cause, the result is definite. So this is how what it's saying. Then after that, the verse 103 is very much advice. After learning the two verses earlier, then Dhammarashita, advising us, like we listener, they say, listen, all of this is but dependent origination. Dependent and empty, they are devoid of self subsistence, changing from one from into another. They are like apparition. They are like apparition, like a firing, seen in the rotating torch. They are mere illusion. So these are the was say, you know, as like in the sutra, it says, a star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew, or bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See condition things as such. So the meaning. So this is meaning for that. You know. So very much like advising us to. Like how to practice the emptiness, how to practice the emptiness, all of this, but dependent origination. You see, self and the rest of the phenomena are nothing more than nothing, all of this, but dependent origination. Everything is arising from the dependent cause, dependent conditions. You see, or in another way, entire existence arise from the dependent cause and conditions. Nothing exists inherently. Dependent and empty. Conventionally, relatively, that you can experience of it is existent, but then ultimately it has no core of inherent existence. Empty of void of inherent existence. They are devoid of self-substance. Self and rest of the phenomena are devoid of self-substance. Changing from one from into another, they are like a is nothing. Nothing has it is core. Nothing has it is core inherent existence. So therefore, it does not remain as a permanent. You see, it is very much like a manifestations or like the illusions. You see, it just pop up. In accordance with the interdependent relation with the subject and object. You see, nothing more than that. Like a fire ring, seen in the rotating torch. Fire ring, by its nature, there's no ring, but because of the dependent actions of the rotating, and that's why you see the fire ring. You see, but in actual core, there's nothing is inherent. Similar goes, including the solid existence of samsara. You see, independent on the cause and condition, you see this traveling of interdependent origination. But other than that, there's no inherent absolute nature, even in the root cause, which is the ignorant, and there's no absolute inherent nature even to the result, the end of the troubling, the death. You see, and not only that, including the nirvana, the cessation. You see, it is all arising of the dependent causes and conditions. Otherwise, there's no inherent core existence from its own side. So therefore, everything is mere illusion. They are like mere illusions. You see, they are mere illusions. So therefore, like what the sutra says, everything view like every conditional thing, view as like a star, visual aberration, like a flame of lamp, like an illusion, like a drop of dew, a bubble, a dream, and a flash of lightning, etc. like that. Then also, the self and the rest of the phenomena should think like this, should meditate like that. Like the verse 104, like the plantain tree, life force has no inner core. You see, like the plantain tree, if you peel out, like a banana tree, if you peel out skin by skin, there's no core inside. You see, you will find the empty core, empty core of tangible existence of so-called as a plantain tree, like that. So if you go to investigate, that you cannot find it is core, that you will the absolute core of it is empty of inherent, empty from what we perceive in our ordinary, in our conceptual mind. You see, so that goes similar to the rest of the phenomena. It is very much like a bubble. Life has no inner core. The bubble interdependent with the force of waves, or then the air in it, then it causes bubble. But if you go to search the actual existence of the bubble, there's no core. There's no inner core. So we should think about our life, our miseries, our happiness. The identity, I, and the rest of the phenomena should view like that. View like a mist. Disparate when one bend down to look. You see, so it should view like the mist, like a mirage. It is beguiling from the distance, like a mirage, the sunlight, the water, the sand, that make up, to, like a mirage. But then when you go to the actual place, that there's no such thing that exists according with how you have perceived from the far. So everything exists like that. So also reflect like a reflection in the mirror. It appears tangibly and real. When you look at your face in the mirror, it really look, tangible, appear tangible and real. But if you go to search, there's nothing. It is just a reflection of dependent condition, your physical form or the face. There's no coexistence of your face in the mirror. So we should view everything is like that. Like a fog, it appears as if it is here to stay, like fogs, like that. So then verse 105, this butcher, the anime ego too, is just the same. So we should view this, the self-clinging ignorant, the ego, ignorant and self-cherishing attitude, and any form of delusion, in the depressions, and including the rest of the conceptual thought that we day-to-day experience, everything reasonalize, like what the verse 104 says, like the plantain tree, like that. So you can use all these different examples to educate our mind, to actualize the selflessness of the one's own identity, selflessness to anything that we attach to, selflessness to anything that we grasp to, So you see, so you really meditate, it really can be so effective, so helpful to release the grasping chain, towards any kind of experiences in our life. If any good thing experience, we experience the happiness, but we don't attach. Any bad thing experiences, you can feel the experiences, but you can feel the experiences without the grasping of aversion. So in that way, everything you experience in the neutral state, you see, with the firm understanding of, how to say, in the practice of transformation, like that. So this butcher and anime ego too is just the same, though ostensibly it appear to exist, it never does. I self-grasping attitude of one's own identity, ostensibly it appear to exist, but it never does. It never does. Only appear to exist, but we didn't understand it as appearing to exist. We grasp it exists, inherently or innately or truly or substantially. You see, so that's the problem. It's just appear to exist. If we have a like a very light understanding of it does appear to exist, but in fact it does not exist from its core, then there will be lighter experience. But we don't do that. We kind of really stuck to the very deep ignorance of it does exist, substantially or inherently. So that's the mistake. You see. So these teachings can be helpful. Though seemingly real, nowhere it is really. So you really feel like it is real, existing from existing within the aggregates, without the aggregates. You see, uh, those seemingly is really real, but in actual fact, it is not real. If you go to search, whether it does exist the way how we perceive or not, then you cannot find at all. And nowhere it is, really, you cannot find at all. Though appearing, it is beyond reification and reputation. You see, it appears, conventionally it appears. You can experience, suffering, you can experience happiness, you can touch the body, you can have the passport, you can really, show the passport, and you can identify yourself, and that is in appearance. But beyond simply that appearance, if you go to search within, within its entire basis, that you cannot find even one substance can rectify or can identify that this is a legitimate inherent existence of you. So like that. So how can there be will of karma? It is thus, though they are devoid of intrinsic existence, just as a moon reflection appear in the cup of water, karma in its effect appear as a diverse falsehood. So within this mere appearance, I will follow the ethical norm. So how can there be will of karma? So it doesn't mean how can there be will of karma conventionally, in the relative world. Definitely there is a will of karma in the relative world. You see, in interdependent reality, yes, there is a will of karma. If you commit wrongdoing, it has consequences of suffering. If you do right doing, virtuous accumulation of causes, you have consequences of happiness. You see, therefore, through they are devoid of intrinsic existence, just as the moon reflecting on its cup. Even though that they are devoid of intrinsic existence, but in interdependent existence, like the appearance of a moon, reflection of moon in the cup of water. Similar way, you see, with the interdependent cause and condition, then there is an appearance of negative consequences and positive consequences, and there's a creation of a positive karma and negative karma. You see. So, given an example, like the reflection appear in a cup of water, So you see, the moon cannot reflect if there's no interdependent condition, like the water in the cup. But once you create the interdependent condition, water on the ground in the very clear sky at night in the full moon day, then moon definitely going to reflect in the water. You see. So similar way, with the cause and condition that the karma is legitimately exists, in relative world. Karma and it is if reverse falsehood, you see. But in the ultimate nature, then the karma, bad karma, good karma, suffering, nirvana, everything appears diverse in the falsehood. So within the mere appearance, I will follow the ethical norm. You see. So in the absolute nature, karma do not exist inherently. Karmic cause and effect do not exist inherently. But within the mere appearance, within the mere conventional reality, then definitely there's a karma, good karma and bad karma, suffering and happiness. So therefore, I will follow the ethical norm, because ethical. Therefore, there's a reason to avoid negativities and reason to follow and cultivate virtues, because cultivating virtue in the relative world of appearance, when you commit the virtue, you experience happiness. You see, so when you commit the causes of nirvana and enlightenment, that you in the relative world, in the relative appearance world, that you do experience liberation and enlightenment. You see, so therefore we need to cultivate the norm of ethics, the dharma practices, so like that. Okay, so I will stop here. Thank you very much. Yes, I have. I need to attend some very important transmission teachings from Tirinpoche, so which is happening. So yeah, I will stop here. So thank you very much, and we will see you in the next Sunday, which will be the last session of this Will of Sharp Weapon. So yeah, we dedicate this collective merit just like the Manjushri, Buddhist Manjushri, Samantabhadra, how they dedicate their merit for the benefit of numberless sentient beings, ultimate benefit. We too dedicate this merit the same way. Okay. So thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.